Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming or Battlefield-related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way real quick, if you would like to submit your own question that can be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a YouTube message. So the first question for today comes from Arcadeless, who asks, Hey Matimio, what are your thoughts about the Battlepack system for Battlefield 4? From what DICE/EA are saying, it's only for aesthetic aspects of the game like camos and such things, but in the Battlefield beta, there are some attachments that can only be unlocked with battle packs. What are your thoughts? So these battle packs have been kind of causing a ruckus within the Battlefield community because a lot of people are claiming that this is just another way that EA is trying to suck more money out of the consumers. They have to purchase the game, so $60 right there. If they want to get all the DLC with all the new maps and all the new weapons, they have to purchase premium, and then if they want to unlock these battle packs faster, they have to do it through the microtransactions. But from what we've learned so far, at least from what we've heard from DICE, is that they are completely optional and that they're only going to be aesthetics. Like, they're not going to give you any edge on the battlefield. And a good example that they bring up is the different foregrips that are going to be in the game. There's 3 different types. They all function a little bit differently, but if you want to kind of switch up the look, then you can unlock those different ones through battle packs. They won't function any differently than the 3 different versions, but they will have a different look to them. So if you want to customize your soldier a little bit more, that option will be in there. But where people are getting a little upset is that there are some optics that you can only unlock through the battle pack system. So if you spend a lot of money right when the game launches, you will have a clear advantage over someone else who doesn't have that particular optic unlocked. But at the same time, we have to remember that we can unlock all of these through the progression of the game itself. So these people that may have a very small advantage by having maybe one higher powered optic compared to someone else because they unlocked it randomly through the battle pack system, through microtransactions, you have to remember that you yourself can unlock that by just playing the game itself. And so for me personally, I don't think it's going to be all that large of an issue, at least for Battlefield 4, but this could potentially be a very, very slippery slope where EA is trying to kind of incorporate more microtransactions into their future AAA titles. And if it gets to the point where in their future games, they do try to make it so that you can buy power through microtransactions, that is when we need to stand up and be like, this is a very large problem and we're not going to buy this game. Like, we already spent the $60 on it. I should not be required to pay more to buy more power in the game. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. So as long as that doesn't happen, I think we'll be fine, and it doesn't appear that's the route that Battlefield 4 is heading. The next question comes from Yuri, who asks, I've already seen many of the kills with the M82A350 cal, but there's only 2 magazines. When the player runs out of ammo, will it be possible to refill the ammo of this weapon with an ammo box? What do you think? So from what we've heard from DICE is that the new battle pickups or the new power weapons is that when you run out of ammo on those things, that's it. Like, you don't get any more. And the reason why they're doing this is that while they want them to be kind of sought after, they want people to kind of look around and try to find them on the map or capture a key objective where those spawn so that you can have that for your team. But at the same time, they don't want someone running around with this thing throughout the entire round, just destroying everyone with it. You guys know, in the Battlefield franchise, you're able to revive your allies. And so if you get a squad in there that's also resupplying someone who picks up, you know, this 50 caliber rifle, which if you guys have ever used it, like, it is amazing. Like, borderline overpowered. Like, I've gone on some insane kill streaks with it. If a squad kind of worked around that player and try to keep them up throughout the entire round by reviving them and then resupplying them with ammo boxes, it could get a little bit ridiculous. And so what DICE is trying to do is, like I said, to make it so that it is a very useful thing to pick up and sought after, but at the same time, once you run out of ammunition or if you don't conserve your ammunition, that's it and you're back to your normal kit. If they went the other route, I think it would be a little bit too ridiculous and there would be a lot of complaints that it's overpowered and that if a squad does manage to keep it alive and does manage to keep it within their unit throughout the entire round, things would get a little bit too crazy. And so for me personally, I like the way that DICE has kind of gone about it. The next question comes from Alan, who asks, do you think that DICE should add a upgrade for helicopters to detect where is the enemy locking at them and also see the incoming missile on their radar? The AI weapons for infantry is much stronger in Battlefield 4 than Battlefield 3, and this upgrade can greatly help the pilot choose to disengage or using buildings as cover to avoid the missiles. Yeah, I think that this is a great idea, and it also looks like DICE would agree with you because they already have a system like this in place in the beta already. It doesn't actually show you the missiles coming on the radar, at least I haven't noticed that yet. But what it will do, and it comes standard with all of the vehicles, I believe, is that if you're being locked on by a portable laser designator, if another helicopter is locking on with his heat-seeking missiles, or if there's just someone on the ground using a stinger, it will kind of show you the direction where they're trying to lock you on from. It's not foolproof. It kind of works the same way as if you were getting hit by bullets, so that red indicator that kind of flashes on your screen that kind of tells you where the bullets are coming from. It works the same way on the helicopters, but it's now white, which makes sense because you're not actually taking damage at that point, and just kind of a nice little subtle way for you to try and figure out where the lock-on is coming from. And so I personally really like this feature because, especially on Siege of Shanghai, I know that's the only map we're able to play on right now, but there are so many different places that the enemy can be hiding. They can be on buildings, they can be down on the ground, in some random corner on the side of the map, and if this wasn't in place, I'm not saying it would be impossible to try to figure out where they were, but it would not be an easy task. So just to have this nice little subtle indicator to kind of give you a fighting chance to figure out where that pesky sniper is, I think is a great addition. The next question comes from Diego, who asks, what do you think about field upgrades? I think that they are a complete joke. I mean, people still play the role that they want. Many guys don't care about flags. They just kill and do stupid things or just run around on rooftops trying to camp and win some frags. Moreover, it takes a huge amount of time and points to earn each perk. I had a feeling that people were going to be in for a rude awakening when field upgrades were integrated because most people back in Battlefield 3, and it's very apparent in Battlefield 4, is that they just use their squad mates as a spawn point, and that's really about it. They just kind of go off and do their own thing, and they don't really care about working as a cohesive squad. And even I fall into that category for the most part when I'm playing with randoms. Like, I will try to give my allies ammo, and I'll try to give them health whenever I can, but it's usually not my squad mate directly next to me, and if we're not in TeamSpeak, we're not playing over Skype, it's kind of hard to coordinate with that, and that is becoming very apparent in the Battlefield 4 beta. But at the same time, I do like the way that things are set up because eventually, hopefully, people will realize that if they do want to unlock these field upgrades, if they do want to get stronger and better on the battlefield, that they do need to work with their squad mates, and I'm hoping that that will lead to more cohesive squads and more people working together when the game actually launches. It may take a couple of weeks, it may even take a couple of months, but hopefully that is where things will end up. But I do agree with you that it does seem to take a little bit too long to unlock some of these tiers, and what I'm assuming DICE is doing right now is they're trying to find a happy medium where it's not too easy to unlock them, where there's literally no incentive to work as a team because we're going to unlock things anyways, but at the same time not making it so challenging where people are like, well, I'm not going to work as a team anyways because it's not going to get us anywhere to begin with, where it's just going to go back to square one when we wipe, and it's just too hard to unlock all of the tiers. I think they will eventually find that happy medium, but it may take a couple of patches, it may take a couple of times for them to get it right. But that is about it for today's Sunday Mailbox, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Once again, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a YouTube message. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.